I'm Katie Stratton. I work at Google. I have the pleasure of taking crazy engineering ideas and partnering with them to create something that would be magical for consumers and providers like yourself. So I'd love to talk to you a little bit about this idea of using many pieces of Google's functionality, so Google Helpouts, Google Hangouts, Calendar, multiple different functionalities, and make it into one product that's really seamless for the consumer. So as we know, Google's trying to organize the world's information. So quite a challenging task, right? So, I mean, the internet's pretty static, right? You go on, you're trying to look what you're searching around, trying to find something. We've seen many examples of, your consumers potentially trying to find you online today. But there's not really a way for you to be there live instantly and connecting with them in a very real-time way, which is why the founder of our product came up with this idea to really leverage multiple Google products to essentially make Google Helpouts. So what I'd love to do is just show you a quick video. It's about a minute long to show different use cases of how providers and experts, retailers like yourselves might be able to leverage this technology.
Too much light is going to overexpose the photo.
I'm going to tell you what to do. We're going to fix it. Now on the right side, I want you to look for the curve tool.
See if you can soften your shoulders towards each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Put your middle finger on the second fret of the D string, and put your ring finger on the third fret of the A string. Give that a try. Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
And I'm gonna have you sweep that color right underneath just to really give them a little bit of extra definition. See, that looks great. That really brings out those big, beautiful eyes.
So, before you fold the egg whites into the cake, the trick is to stir just the first third in. That way, you get a more even texture throughout the cake.
So we've only been live for a few weeks, so I don't have very much, in Google fashion, we usually, to come to these types of things, give you a lot of data as to how this is going to help connect your retail environment to your consumers. But, we're still very new. We're still very much, in Google fashion, want to launch the product, we want to iterate on it, and we want to learn from you as to how we can make this product work best to connect your consumers and your, essentially, your retailers to be able to really find the best solution for whatever people are looking for. So you can think of many use cases, and I like to think of the founder of this project actually, 27 years ago thought, why can't I just put a bunch of doctors in a room, have them sitting at the phone, and just be able to call them whenever I want, 3 in the morning when my daughter's sick. Why can't I just talk to somebody live instantly and get really good quality help? I mean, now 27 years ago, there wasn't this type of technology, right? The internet wasn't around. There wasn't really a way for us to be able to connect to experts in a real-time way. So, I mean, and luckily, too, the only means was a 900 number, which we all know what kind of fell to the wayside of 900 numbers. So, much happier now that we have the internet. It's a much easier means for consumers to be able to connect live to experts. So, when we look through essentially the hundreds and thousands of use cases, and I'm sure all of you can think through, especially with the fact that many of you don't have storefronts, right? So how do you connect to your consumers now? Is it through phone? Is it through chat? When someone buys something, what's the next step? It's sometimes very challenging to be able to understand what your consumer is experiencing when they actually leave your store or, leave your online store and actually take your product home. So, what's the next step? So if we look through what this product is able to do, Google really wants to focus on making this a platform. We are far from the expert in different categories. We absolutely look to experts and providers like yourselves to help us use this platform to come on and help our consumers. We have thousands and millions of consumers around the world. In every country, essentially, this product will extend your ability to not just be in a physical location where you are. The web allows you to extend way beyond and essentially remove those geographic constraints, remove essentially the time zone constraints. And essentially the product allows for us to integrate, like I mentioned, Google Hangouts, essentially Google Calendar, scheduling, Google Wallet for payment. So it really integrates it all into a very seamless infrastructure that essentially takes away all the pain of these types of products and makes it really fun and easy for your experts to connect to your consumers. But what we can see is we've essentially launched in 8 different categories. And we've really thought through this use case, right? If you think of the world of help, what essentially do people need help with? I mean, it's unbelievably vast, right? We did numerous studies to think through the different use cases and really trying to focus in on our consumer, always putting our consumer first as to what are those use cases they need. So, I mean, if you talk through my morning this morning, I talked to my personal trainer via Helpouts. She helped me go through and do my stretching. I was able to actually record the session so that when I'm traveling and for some reason if I'm abroad and we're not the same time zone, I'd be able to watch the recorded session and that's mine to keep. I also could talk to a nutritionist, essentially help me, up with the holiday seasons coming up, and we all know Thanksgiving is very challenging to not eat, double the amount of calories you're going to eat. So how do you help plan out your schedule to kind of get ready for those types of things? We can look through the various types of use cases, and these are just the 8 that we've gotten started with, but we absolutely, in the last few weeks, we are getting more and more data to understand how we can develop this product to make the most sense, essentially, for our consumers, as well as, retailers like yourselves. How can we make sure we make that connection really seamless and really make a lot of sense for both our consumer and for our provider? So we just look through here, we can see we have art and music, computers and electronics, cooking, education and careers, fashion and beauty, fitness and nutrition, health, and home and garden. So essentially, the product right now is still just in the very early stages, but we absolutely want to continue to extend it so that we can really make a very vibrant experience for both our consumer and our providers. I mean, to be able to get that expert help, who do you turn to? A lot of times you turn to your friends, you turn to your family, but based on those geographic or time constraints, they might not be available. So wouldn't it be amazing to have a real-time platform for you to be able to go on, find these experts that can help you essentially use that product you bought or help extend, maybe your dishwasher is broken and you need help with it right now. There's such a variety of ways that consumers need help that we absolutely can leverage this type of experience.